Man, whoever... The designer for this game, incredible asshole. I guess the only thing I can do is dodge. Alright, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm letting this go. So, hi everyone. This is kind of like a different type of content. I've never done like a review or anything, or I'm trying to get into editing videos again. So I'm doing this kind of review as a short thing. This is mostly improvised. I do have like a few talking points that I wrote, but I'm going to keep this kind of brief, edit a few moments from my last stream and whatnot. But I did get Elden Ring recently. I streamed it. Again, I apologize because it was a very frustrating experience. It turned out to be kind of like a sour stream towards the end. I just want to say that I kept playing. I stuck through it. I didn't, you know, I got to the first boss and I hit a wall, whatever. But you know what? This is a review with spoilers. I'm gonna try to keep it brief. I'm recording this on the fly, and I'll read some of my talking points and obviously edit everything down. But here's the thing. Elden Ring, if you want like a pitch that's spoiler free, it's a good game. It's a Souls game. It's very hard, but it is more accessible to everybody. The game is good. I highly suggest getting it if you're like on the fence about it. If you really detest the concept of dying over and over and over and over again,
these foolish ambitions to rest.
They ask you how you are, and you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Maybe this might not be the game for you. I don't like that concept, but I am loving the hell out of this game. It is a frustrating experience, but if you like exploration, you like, you know, Lord of the Rings, and you like learning about lore, exploring, finding new things to do, seeing what the world has to offer, I highly recommend getting this game, because even if you don't necessarily focus on doing the bosses and stuff like that, there is a lot to do. There's a lot of like just random things to kill. So the game is certainly not boring, but it is very hard, so it's something that's important to keep in mind. So if you're on the fence about it and you just don't like, well, I don't want to die often, not like over and over and over again, like I don't want a frustrating experience, then maybe wait for like a sale and get it. Otherwise, like, you know, if you're not really playing anything, this is a very good game to get, and it will eat your time up like nothing. You know, I'll just keep it brief. Like, my personal experience with like FromSoftware games, I've never played Demon's Souls, never seen anything of it, so I don't really know much about it. I have, however, seen people play Dark Souls 1, 2. I played a little bit of Bloodborne, but I watched Vinny from Vinesauce play the entirety of Bloodborne, which was very fun. I played Dark Souls 3 up until Point of Sullivan, but that's pretty much where I gave up on him.
We unkindled are worthless. Can't even die right. Gives me conniptions.
I didn't think Dark Souls 3 was that hard of a game initially when I first played it, but it does get harder as you go on. This doesn't happen with Elden Ring. It kind of gets hard like right from the get-go, but it does so in a way so you're like incentivized to like, you know, not necessarily like if something's hard, like come back to it later. There's definitely like a lot of like save points, so this game is easier in that sense, where like if you die, you're not punished and sent all the way back. Like in the Dark Souls games and stuff like that. This does definitely fix that issue that I had with the previous games. You're not meant to rush this game because Dark Souls games, from my experience, they're kind of like a hallway where it's like it's a straight shot and there's some branching paths, but it's mostly like, like there's one road to take that will get you somewhere. And you're not really incentivized to explore a whole lot. Just like look around for items and then just keep going. And then if you need to get stronger for a boss, you can like pretty much like tread back and try to kill a few enemies over and over and over again until you have enough souls to buy things. But in this game, if you hit a wall like I did, you're not meant to be stubborn like I was. You're meant to just be like, okay, well, I'll go away and explore or do something else. Because it's like this game is certainly less frustrating. It's frustrating in a few points, and I'll get to that in a little bit. The exploration is kind of at the forefront of this game, so you're not meant to do a bus rush. But initially, like I didn't have a whole lot of hype around this game.
Become Elden Lord.
But it is an open world, and I was very much like, I kind of want something where I can explore. And like a few years ago, the last open world game that I played that was new at the time when it came out was Breath of the Wild. And I felt like, I mean, a lot of people are comparing this game to Breath of the Wild, and they're different kind of games, but they're also kind of like similar in a way. They approach the open world concept and they do it differently. My problem with Breath of the Wild, as I've said numerous times in streams, is that Breath of the Wild was a little too empty for my taste. There was nothing to do. A lot of the exploration aspects, like you could already see what was out there, and it was just like either finding Koroks, which I didn't do, or do the puzzles, because the temples were like few and far between. It was like 3 or 4, and then the final boss. The puzzles I didn't like because it was just like, no, this is just like padded content, and it was just not for my personal taste, and there was also not a whole lot of side quests. This game, however, does address that in the case that there's a lot of side content or side quests. There's a lot of caves you can explore. Some people are going to hate me for saying this, but it's kind of like in Skyrim where there's like a lot of places you can explore, even if they tend to be a little samey sometimes, but there's a lot to do. There's like, you'll walk 5 meters and there's like a cave, or there's like a castle, or there's something, but you will always immediately run into something, or you'll run into an NPC, like a quirky one. There was this pot that I had to kick a bunch of times or hit a bunch of times with like a hammer, or there's like this lady that you give her like a golden needle, and yada yada yada. There's a lot. Again, this is just like my opinion. This game, exploration is kind of like it, which I really enjoy. Like after the stream, I went back and I beat the boss, but then I stopped, like, okay, I don't want to continue going because it's going to be another boss in a little bit. So I left after beating Margaret, and I just kept exploring, and I found a bunch of places, things that helped me make myself stronger, aka armor, or like new weapons, or ashes, which greatly help you strengthen your build. My build is like dexterity strength, so for someone that's not as experienced, like I'm dodging a whole lot of times because if I get hit twice, I'm dead, which kind of sucks, but here we are. I'm not going to change my build. I'm sticking to my guns. I think maybe one of the things that I could say that I don't like about the game a little bit is that some boss fights feel like it's padded, in the sense that they're so hard that it will certainly not be done in the first few runs or the first 20. It'll take you like at least 4 hours to figure out a way to either kill them, or you just get lucky with criticals, or the padding doesn't occur too much with the main story bosses. It didn't happen like Margaret was fucking hard, but I'm not sure if I would consider that padding, but when you get to him, you're supposed to actually fight him or learn how to fight, and he is actually like a very good teacher for the rest of the game, because that'll be the moment where you're like, okay, either I'm too weak and I have to go back, or I need to learn how to play, because I can't just like rush this. This isn't a game that you rush through. But I got to an optional fight, mind you, that is the gargoyles. They brought them back. They were in Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3. Are much harder, I feel like. They have longer combos. They're faster. They have this poison attack that takes up like almost the entire map. and you're supposed to use a
Spirit ashes.
in retrospect, the
Spirit ashes.
doesn't last really long, and I think I'm realizing that maybe I'm a little too early into that part because I'm around level 60, but my
Spirit ashes.
aren't that strong. So, but again, maybe it's just because I'm not like a Dark Souls player originally, and I picked up this game with the intention of finishing it as much as I can. So maybe that's mostly on me for not, you know, very good at these games or not as well versed on these games. So maybe I just need to work harder at it and maybe level up. That's kind of the approach I'm taking, because a lot of people just write off the game with its difficulty, and that's kind of like every iteration that these games come out. Some journalist is just going to be like, oh, this game is too hard, and like completely write off the entire game, ignore the mechanics because they just want something easy. And I do see that argument where this game has a lot of lore to offer, a lot of great things, a lot of great music, that it's in a way somehow kind of like a shame that it's that way. But I feel like taking away the difficulty also kind of takes away a little bit of the game, because then it might be like you might not feel challenged through the entire game, because while this game has a lot more story than most Soulsborne, Ring, Sekiro franchise has, kind of like there's not a whole lot of story. It's more focused still on the gameplay itself. And if you remove the difficulty aspect, you're gonna be left with no challenge. The exploration aspect is so abundant and so fun. If you're really that hell-bent in having an easy game, there's other options. You can go back to Zelda.
This is a load of barnacles.
The music is amazing. It's not my favorite out of the Souls, because the boss musics for me are a little lacking. There's not a whole lot that I was like, oh, I need to go back to listen to that. I still have to do that because I'm not necessarily focused on listening to the music when I'm trying not to die from a panic attack fighting a boss. The area background music is great. Each area has their own music, and when you listen to it, it varies differently, and even when you interact with enemies or get into a fight or something, like, it changes. Yeah, no, the lore is great. There's a lot more added to this game. I like a lot of the previous Dark Souls games. Lore was in items, but now it's like characters will tell you things. You will read things. You will see things. So it's a lot of more show, not tell. And there are some telling aspects, and I like that the hub has like characters you can talk to, and up around the world there's a lot of characters you can talk to. So it's definitely like a lived-in world in some sense, where not everything's like everybody's dead, but there's people around that you can talk to.
It is now time for crab.
that's kind of like all I have to say about the game. And if I have to give this game a score, out of 10, I would give it. What? But again, that's just like on me. That's not like the game. This game is like one of the best things I've played in the last few years. Right after Nier Automata, I love the shit out of this game. It's come out recently, but I've already have 50 hours on it. So, you know, take that for what you will. It's not a perfect game by any means, in my opinion. Especially with some of the jank that it has at the moment with PC optimizations. But I hear that people in PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 had like no issues, or near to no issues, so. Hopefully you like this kind of review stuff. I'll try, like, if I do any more of these things in the future, you know, once I beat Elden Ring, I might do like a more well done review, or I might review some other stuff and actually have like a script, because you know, I'm not very good at improvising, and having a script kind of cuts down and having to edit around it. But yeah, if you like this kind of stuff, let me know. I might be willing to do shorter reviews on things that are easier to review, like, you know, review pizza or something like that. I don't know. But this is my first foray into review. Thank you guys for the review. Let me know in the comments if there's any points that you agree or disagree with, or if, you know, I made a mistake. I do appreciate the feedback, so take care.
I am pleased to see you again. Would you like to be held? Regardless?
I wrote a blog post about why I hate video games, because this is what it does. It appeals to like the male fantasy.